Hello and welcome to A Sunny Book Nook. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul that contains a bunch of online orders and also a bunch of ARCs that my friend gifted me, but the ARCs are water damaged, so also, this is a video that I filmed in two parts because I just today got a shipment of books in and I wanted to just quickly show you what I got so that way I can just mash the videos together and it can be one haul video. So let's just jump right in. The first book that I got here in my shipment is The Life in Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly by Jamie Pacton. If you watch my favorite reads of 2020 so far video, which I'll link in the cards, you'll know that I mentioned this as one of my favorite YA contemporaries that I've read all year so far, and I stand by that. I think it is so good, and I'm so glad I now have a physical copy so that when I need a pick-me-up or when I want to revisit this and maybe go and annotate it, I have a copy to return to since I listened to it on audiobook. The next book that I have here is yet another favorite of the year so far, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This book made me so happy. It brought me so much joy, and for the same reason why I got this book, because it brought me a lot of joy, I also had to get this book. I really want to return to it when I need a comforting read, and I just love owning books that I love. What more can I say? The next book that I have here is Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis. This is Lindsay Ellis's first novel, and it has come out, so I obviously had to get a copy. This is a sci-fi book, and it's set in 2007, I believe, and I'm really excited because I've been watching Lindsay's videos for years now, and I just love her content, and I can't wait to see what story she's created from her own mind. Next up, we have The Power by Naomi Alderman. I read a couple quotes from this that happened to be on my Twitter feed, and I was like, I really didn't want to read that book, but maybe I should, so here we are. I know that this is a feminist dystopian young adult book, and typically that is not something that seems like it would be my jam, but we'll see. We'll see if I like it. I also really like how the review says Our Era's Handmaid's Tale, as if like The Handmaid's Tale is not also a book that our era reads and a book that has made a significant cultural impact. The next book that I have here is Pachinko by Minjin Lee. I've heard so many good things about this book since it came out in 2016, and it's a historical fiction novel that follows 4 generations of Korean women during and after, I think, the Japanese occupation, and I really am looking forward to getting to this. I need to be in a very specific mood to read historical fiction, but maybe I'll join a buddy read or group read or something for this. But yeah, here's the video that I filmed like last week now. Enjoy. And I know August is like ARC reading month for booktube. Some of the ARCs are books that have already been published, but a lot of them are books that haven't been published, so that's really exciting. Let's start with the books that I got online. First, we have The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a book that I'm reading for the month of August with a kind of book club hosted by Deidre at Shade Tree Reads. I'm 30 pages in, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. It has creepy vibes. It looks like it's going to be tackling a lot of topics head on, and I'm really excited for this. Plus, this is a beautiful cover, and I've really been looking forward to reading this for a couple months, actually. Next up, we have Socialist Realism by Trisha Lowe. This is a pretty slim book, and to be honest, I have no idea what this is about, but the author looked cool. I think it was on some sort of recommendation list on my bookstore's website or something. I'm not really sure. The back says, when Trisha Lowe moves west, her journey is motivated by the need to arrive somewhere better, somewhere utopian, like revolution, or safe, like home. Instead, she faces the end of her relationships, a family whose values she has difficulty sharing, and America's casual racism, sexism, and homophobia. So, I guess this looks like it's like nonfiction, maybe essay, but I'm really excited to get to this because I think it'll have some interesting ideas, hopefully, and hopefully make me think. Next up, we have Burn by Patrick Ness. I've been hearing really good things about this book for a long time now, and it only recently came out, so I'm really excited to now have a physical copy of this. And I've heard good things about Patrick Ness's books in general, and I've heard that this book tackles a lot of issues through the setting of just World War II, but then there's the incorporation of dragons and magic, and it just seems really cool. I need a fantasy escape at some point, so I can't wait to get to this, and I've been looking forward to reading this for months. The next book that I have here is How We Get Free, Black Feminism and the Combahee River Collective. And this is a book that I've been meaning to read for a while now because the Combahee River Collective was, I think, this group of activists and writers and kind of people who put out a lot of text about Black feminism, and I'm always looking to learn more about Black feminist thought and theory, so I really hope that I can get that from this book, and I've only ever heard and seen good things about this, so can't wait to get to this. The next book that I have here is The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. I know that Jesse from Bowties and Books recommends this book a lot on the basis of it being a criticism of capitalism and a sci-fi gay book, and those are all the only things I need to feel obligated to pick up this book. It looks like it has to do with some sort of time travel, and plus the cover is beautiful, and I am a cover buyer and a cover reader. Can't wait to get to this one. I'm saying that about every book I have here, but it's because obviously if I got it, it's because I can't wait to get to it. Docile by Cam Sparra. I talk about this book in my July wrap-up, so go watch that video if you haven't already. This book has a lot of conflicting opinions on it in the Bookstagram, Book Twitter, BookTube community, and I have a very unpopular opinion of absolutely loving it, and I listened to it on audiobook, which is why I wanted to get a physical copy so I could go in and mark up the different passages and the different quotes and stuff that stuck out to me when I was listening to it the first time, and to be able to put together my points to defend this book and defend why I really like it and the points that it's making. The next book that I have here is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is a book that I've been hearing about since maybe 2016 or 2017. When was this published? 2017. I've been hearing about this book and I've only really heard good things. From what I can tell, it's about a boy who's dealing with racism at his predominantly white school, and he's writing letters to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to figure out how to deal with his own emotions and his reality. That's my understanding of what this book is about, but it's also a pretty short book, and since it's young adult, I think I could be able to get through this quickly, so yeah, excited to get to this. The next book that I have is a novella, The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Zen Cho. This is a really beautiful cover, and that's really what caught my eye, and the fact that the deckled pages with it being such a slim book, and it looks very fantastical and magical, and it says here, a bandit walks into a coffee house, and it all goes downhill from there. And that really got my attention, and I read the first page of this book in the bookstore, and I was like, I'm gonna get this. The next book that I have here is Chemistry by Wei-Kei Wong. This book looks really cool. I know that it has mediocre reviews from what I can tell. However, it sounds like a story that I'm really interested in hearing from because it's about a Chinese graduate student who wants to make her Chinese parents happy, and stuff goes from there, I guess, because she doesn't feel like her life is going the way she wants it to, and she just feels kind of ambivalent and not in the place that she wants to be, even though technically she is, and she has a supportive, loving boyfriend, and her parents are proud, and she has this PhD. But, things are not as they seem. So I can't wait to get to this one. I've been meaning to read this for a while, and I also need more yellow books on my shelf because I noticed that the only yellow book on my shelf is with like a yellow spine, at least, is There by Tommy Orange, and Please Send Help by Gabby Dunn and Allison Raskin, and that simply cannot do. I need more yellow books because yellow is my favorite color. So that's my justification for getting this book. Braised Pork by An Yu, and from what I've heard about this book, it's some sort of literary fiction thriller, and I think I heard good things about this from maybe Seiji, but I really don't remember. I just know, or maybe even Alicia Reed's. I don't know. I can't wait to check this out because I think that the plot is, or the synopsis is that this wife walks into her apartment and her husband is dead and shit goes from there. The next book that I have here is How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones. I've read the first 20% of this book via audiobook, and I just really love this cover, and also I need more orange books. And I love memoirs, and I feel like I don't really own the memoirs that I read a lot of the time, so I need to change that. I really enjoyed the first part of this book that I've already read, and I am excited to dig in deeper. I think it's mainly about this Black gay man's experience growing up and his reflection on his identity and his family and community. The next book that I have here is The Hidden Girl and Other Stories by Ken Liu. I've read Ken Liu's other book, The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories, which is another short story collection that was bigger than this, and I'm excited to get to this because I think this has a more speculative fiction sci-fi bent to it, and I am always looking for speculative fiction, sci-fi, fantasy short stories. Hopefully this can deliver. The next book that I have here is The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, and I read the first maybe 10% of this book several months ago at this point, maybe even in February via audiobook, and I was just kind of bored at a certain point because with historical fiction, because it felt like not much was happening, I was just getting a little bit bored and I didn't really care. So I just put it down, but then someone on Twitter was like, oh no, you should totally finish through with it because it's actually a really good book. So I was like, okay, I guess. This is about a coastal town in Norway in the 1500s. These villagers and also this new religious figure who's coming to the town, and these women who are getting married somewhere. I don't know. I don't really know much about this book because I only got what I grasped from the first couple chapters that I've already read, but hopefully I can actually finish this book and have a definitive answer as to whether I think it is good or not, and whether it was worth trudging through the first couple chapters. Moving on to my pile of ARCs that my friend dropped off at my house the other day. Thank you, Lily. The first book that I have here is, also, they all got water damaged because it rained, and me, like a dumbass, didn't realize that she had dropped off the books at my house, outside, until it was too late. So here we have The Scapegracers by Hannah Abigail Clark. And this book is written by a non-binary author, I think, and it's about witches and girls and lesbians. That's all I know. And it sounds like it will be really interesting, and I can't wait to get to this. I think it's already out. Yeah, it says publication date May 12th, 2020, so yeah, it's out already. The next book I have here is Who I Was With Her, which I think is also written by a trans author and a trans non-binary author, so that's exciting. And I think this is about a bisexual girl whose girlfriend dies, and it's dealing with her grief and the aftermath of this tragic event, and it seems really interesting and sad. So when I need a sad book, I will pick this up. Next up, we have Vox by Christina Dalcher. This is a dystopian young adult book about women who, like, about a future where women can only speak 100 words a day. And to be honest, a lot of young adult dystopian novels leave a bad taste in my mouth because they feel just so 2013 cringe. But maybe this will be different. I also don't like feminist takes from, I'm assuming this is a white person, from white people, because usually it lacks a degree of nuance. And I don't know. I don't have high expectations for this book, but I will read it. I'm gonna force myself to read it because it's been getting some hype, I think. The next book that I have here is a graphic novel called The Faithful Spy by John Hendricks. I think this is set in Nazi Germany, or it has to do with Nazis and Hitler, I think. That's all I know about it, really. It has a very traditional kind of comic style, and again, the pages are like water damage. I'm so stupid. But anyway, this looks cool, and graphic novels are always short reads for me, so... And I also really love graphic novels because I like the consumption of an image and text. Hopefully I'll enjoy this. Next book I have here is also a graphic novel, and I actually read this book yesterday because I was going through a bit of a literary fiction slump and I had to redirect my attention and focus towards a graphic novel that was a little bit more fun. And that graphic novel is All Summer Long by Hope Larson. I thought this book was really cute. It's about a 12-year-old or 13-year-old girl who is spending her summer alone because her best friend and next-door neighbor is going off to soccer camp, and she's super into music and playing the guitar, and it's about like that coming-of-age summer story and friendship and passion for music, and I thought that it was really, really cute and a good pick-me-up and a good kicking the ass for a slump. The next book that I have in this little ARC pile is Charming is a Verb by Ben Philippe. I've seen this on many anticipated read videos and lists, but I think this is a young adult rom-com type book, and it's supposed to come out in September, so I'm excited I have an ARC copy of it, and hopefully I can finish it in ARC August, like a love story born out of a black male and two ambitious kind of wacky teenagers. Just seems really cute. So hopefully I will get to this when I need a rom-com pick-me-up at some point during this month, which I inevitably will. And this is the last book I have in this haul pile situation, and that is Come On In, 15 Stories About Immigration and Finding Home. So this looks like an anthology of immigrant stories, and it's supposed to come out in October 2020, and I haven't seen this on anyone's anticipated reads list, but the cover looks really cool. I will definitely try to get to this either this month or next month since it's coming out in October. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!